You are Locked On Nuggets POSTCAST, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Say it with me. Say it with me. Best player in the world. One more time. Best player in the world. That is Nikola Jokic, man, as he puts forth video game-esque numbers. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get over this. Like, I don't know if it's ever like I texted my dad and I was like, this guy, is just popping off again. Nikola Jokic. I mean, is he going to win not four straight, but is he going to win his fourth MVP? Is he going to go back to back for the second time? Because what Nikola Jokic is doing on the basketball court to start this season with I don't want to say a lackluster supporting cast, but a supporting cast that's struggling to find its footing, although they were pretty good tonight, is just nothing short of incredible. He is absolutely positively sensational. Welcome on in to your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope you guys are doing well out there after the Denver Nuggets get their second consecutive overtime victory. But what's most impressive is it was on the second night of a back-to-back. Once this game went to overtime, I put it out on my Twitter at Media by AP. Are the Nuggets going to have enough juice? Are they going to have enough gas in the tank, knowing that they had to kind of give it their all last night? And look, Toronto and Brooklyn, not exactly two of the best teams in the NBA, so I think it's a little concerning in the sense that Denver, is unable to close these games out in regulation or win these games in regulation. But again, considering how they started 0-3 to start the year, or was it 0-2? Hold on, now I'm tripping. No, 0-2, sorry. 0-2 to start the season. You'll take these wins any way you can get them. And just like that, after the first two losses of the year, Denver crawls their way back to 500. Now they're going to get a couple of days off before they have a very interesting matchup on Friday on the Four-Letter Network against the Minnesota Timberwolves, an early gut check game. It's going to be the second gut check game for the Denver Nuggets of the season. But hope everyone is doing well out there. You guys can follow me on social at Media by AP. And do me a favor, guys. Make sure to subscribe to that Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never, ever miss an episode of your Locked On Nuggets, Locked On Broncos, Locked On Buffs, and Locked On Rockies postcasts, all hosted by yours truly. I'm building up this YouTube channel brick by brick, all by myself, and so the likes and the subscribes really mean a world to me. So appreciate you guys. Love doing these shows, and at least we get to do another victory show tonight, man. And got to give credit to Brooklyn. They're a young, scrappy team. Old pal Jordy Fernandez, leading the show down there. No Ben Simmons tonight, which is not a surprise. I saw the stat. He's played in like 60 of 249 playable, or maybe not that many games. I don't know. But Ben Simmons, we kind of know where he's at in his career right now. But for the Denver Nuggets, man, just an impressive victory tonight. Great game from the starting lineup and also a great game from Russell Westbrook. We'll talk about Russ in the second segment. We'll spend a majority of the second segment on Russ. But tonight for the starters, we got to start with the big fella, number 15, the Joker. Just another, like I said, video game-esque numbers tonight from Nikola Jokic. 29 points, 16 assists, 18 rebounds, 12 of them on the defensive end. Only 2 turnovers, I believe, for the Joker as well. He was 11 of 13 from the free throw line. Did not take a three-point attempt tonight. I believe that's the first game this season that he has not shot one beyond the arc, but he was an efficient 9 for 16 from the field in 41 minutes played. And I just don't even know what to say. Like, I really sometimes am just at a loss for words with Nikola Jokic. I mean, he's just so cool, calm, and collected. They were harping out on the TV broadcast. If you were able to get to the TV broadcast, I'm going to spend the final few minutes of the show talking about the hula hoops that Denver Nuggets fans have to jump through, myself included. Everybody out there. I know, I woke up from a nap, was feeling a little under the weather today, and I, flip on DirecTV and it's blacked out. I was like, what the hell's going on here? So I'll spend some time on that at the end of the show. But I am surprised, like I said, they were harping on this on the broadcast, that they did not try to double Nikola Jokic down the stretch. They tried to do that. They tried to take the ball out of his hands in overtime, but Christian Braun Big time 3-point shot there in the corner to put the game on ice. And, like I said, it's just sometimes I'm at a loss for words, about this Denver Nuggets team. Without Joker, Denver's not even a playoff team. One comment coming in, and guys, drop your comments. You guys, I'm the host, but you guys are the ones that help me drive the conversation. Always appreciate your feedback. And for any of you guys that are listening on the audio feed, if you're looking to get engaged with the program, watch me live after just about each and every Denver Nuggets game. But yeah, I mean, isn't it crazy how Denver can be considered a championship contender, but like literally, God forbid anything ever happens to Nikola Jokic, I'm not even sure if they're going to make the playoffs. Like, are they a fringe play-in? I don't know. That is how, I mean, again, and I don't want to get too deep into the minutia with the MVP talk, but let's take it in a literal sense. Most valuable player. Nikola Jokic is the single most valuable player to any one team in the NBA, maybe even in NBA history. Like, to be completely honest with you, like, I even think back to Jordan's Bulls, and it was a little bit before my time, but they were still making the playoffs in those few years that he was out of the league, right? They had Scotty, they had Dennis, or I think Dennis came after, but, they were in the playoffs. I mean, you take SGA off the Thunder, they're still going to be a competitive team. You take Jason Tatum off the Celtics, they're going to still figure out a way to hit a gazillion threes a game and win these games. Take LeBron off the Lakers, and Anthony Davis is balling out right now. Like I don't think there's been a single player, at least that just immediately comes to mind for me, that is more valuable to any one team than Nikola Jokic in maybe the history of the NBA and maybe even like the history of sports. Like, to be honest with you, just because he's like that calming force. Like when the ball's in his hands, you just feel so comfortable knowing that you're either going to get a good look for a teammate or he's going to just, back him down, boom, 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 in the paint, turn around, hezzy, boom. He might miss the shot, but he's going to get his own rebound and he might get fouled going back up top. And so what Nikola Jokic just does for this Denver Nuggets team is just nothing short of fantastic. And that's why I get on the Nuggets. I get on Calvin Booth and ownership for not doing everything in their power to surround Nikola Jokic with the most top tier talent possibly available. I mean, like, you see what this guy is doing. And look, Jamal had a fine game tonight. MPJ was shooting the ball well early. But like, if you have some real consistency around this guy, dude, like they're unstoppable. They're absolutely unstoppable. So Nikola Jokic again tonight, triple-double, his second of the year already. I saw this tweet. Let me pull it up here real quick. Wilt Chamberlain numbers for Nikola Jokic through the first 4 games of the season. Started out game 1, 29, or no, this is game 1, 16, 12, and 13 with a triple-double. Game 2, 41, 9, and 4. Game 3, 40, 10, and 4. And tonight, 29, 18, and 16. What was the JJ Redick line that like Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West were doing it against, plumbers and firemen? Nikola Jokic is doing this against the best athletes in the world in the year of our Lord 2024. Like, that is where we are at right now with Nikola Jokic. He is turning back the clock and is just absolutely dominating these games. And look, I don't think Jokic wants to be this aggressive on offense. I mean, he didn't score 30 tonight. I think he loves the rebounds. He loves the assists. But, like, that's not how Jokic wants to. Like, Jokic does not want to have to be, like, the driving force in the scoring department. He's the guy who came out saying, why score when you can pass? Passing makes 2 people happy. But at this point, right now in the season, after that 0-2 start, you got to be able to, win these games however you can win them. And that is with an aggressive and a dominant Nikola Jokic asserting himself. And he did so tonight. All the starters, again, in double digits. Christian Braun with a big-time 3, as I mentioned there, in overtime to essentially put the game on ice. A little bit sweaty there. Jamal missed a couple of free throws down the stretch there too. But Christian Braun, wide open look from 3 that you had to have to ice this game, and he does just that. 12 points tonight for CB, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 of 6 from the charity stripe, and 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, which is exactly what you want to see from Christian Braun. Aaron Gordon continues to do what Aaron Gordon does. 24 points tonight, couple of assists, 5 rebounds, 7 for 7 from the free throw line, and he also hit a big 3-point shot in this game. And if Aaron Gordon can just get a little bit more consistent with the 3-point shot or just the jump shot in general, I think it's going to go a long way in helping the Denver Nuggets throughout the course of this season because they need some consistency with the outside shooting for sure. Michael Porter Jr. tonight, 16 points, a +6 in the plus minus, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. He was 4 from 7 from deep, although most of those 3-point shots, I think they all maybe came in the first half, and 6 for 11 from the field. So nice to see MPJ get out there. And then Jamal Murray, 24 points with 3 rebounds and 3 assists on the night from all. He was 2 from 7 from beyond the arc. So they would have lost this game. I know there were some horrible Jamal Murray possessions down the stretch. I really do believe that. But it's a win, right? They got the job done. No hero ball in overtime. Looked like there was a little hero ball in those last couple of possessions down the stretch for Denver with Jamal having the ball in his hands, but a win is a win. So, guys, drop some comments. I'm going to hit my first break. When we come back, we'll continue along with the conversation. Let's dive into Russell Westbrook and the bench unit and just continue talking about the overall progression of this Denver Nuggets team. Russ, though, turning in his best performance of the season off the bench in the double digits in the scoring department as well. So drop some comments. Let me know how you guys are feeling. What was your big takeaway from the game today? What stood out to you the most? What are you concerned about? And we'll break it all down when we come back right here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Stick with me, folks. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at GameTime. And I say it every single time, guys, if you're not getting your tickets through GameTime for sporting events, concerts, comedy, theater, all that good stuff, you are just missing out because GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. Let me tell you about some of my personal favorite features. Just told you about GameTime Picks, where curation can make it easier for you to save even more on sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. My personal favorite feature on GameTime is their all-in pricing. When you toggle this feature on the app or on the website, it shows you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. So what you see is what you pay. There's nothing worse to me than a $45 ticket. You go and check out, and now it's like $70 because of all the hidden fees. When you toggle the all-in pricing feature on GameTime, you see that price and total upfront as well. Plus, you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with their seat viewer and the lowest price guarantee, or GameTime will credit you not just 100% of the difference, but 110% of the difference. Plus, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime Picks. Download the GameTime app and create an account today and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms they do apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It's game time. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Apologies if I'm a little under the weather today, but, show must go on. Having a good time here talking with you guys. So hope everyone is hanging in there, having a good time as the Denver Nuggets earn their second consecutive victory on the second night of a back-to-back in overtime fashion for the second straight game. 144-139, your final score. Denver outscores Brooklyn in the overtime period 19-14. And Denver started pretty slow in this game. Got outscored in the first quarter 40-27, then brought it back 36-32 in the second quarter, and then essentially cleaned up the rest of the way. They won the third quarter 33-27, fourth quarter 29-26, and then, like I said, to start this overtime 19-14. We spent the first segment talking about the starters. Before I get into Russ, man, what is it going to take? And I know that this is a guy that Nuggets fans are a little bit low on. Where is Zeke Naji? Because like where is Vlatko Čančar? Because Dario Saric, and I know that it's less than 5 games into the season, like not good. Not good at all, man. And could Zeke Naji and Vlatko be much worse than Dario Saric at this point? I mean, I would just like to see Malone maybe get a little bit more creative with the bench units, just giving some guys some opportunities, because it's not like I understand you brought in Dario Saric to be your backup center, but like, are you completely tethered to that if he's playing as bad as he is? Like Zeke Naji's making good money. I think Vlatko, you can kind of give him the benefit of the doubt coming off the ACL injury, so that does make a little bit of sense, but I feel like I sound like Swipa I've seen Swiper talking about this on Twitter as well, but I absolutely agree with them. Like, you've got to figure out a way to get some more production out of that big man role on the bench. Some comments here. Joker in the NBA. Joker's the best in the NBA so far this season. Third in scoring, first in rebounds, and first in assists. It's a Joker world, and we're just living in it. What do we have to do about the bench? We've got to get this fixed. Otherwise, this will be a play-in team. I don't think there'll be a play-in team. And that's where I'm very excited about this game against Minnesota, just because I think it's a good gut check game. And I was seeing some stuff on Twitter. It looks like Anthony Edwards was popping off tonight, but 100%. I mean, we know that the bench has been the Nuggets' Achilles heel for a long, long time. One theory, and I don't think they're going to do this, but I was talking with my boss at Mile High Sports, Nate Lundy, and Nate came up in the radio flow in San Antonio. Like, he worked out there when the Spurs were great. And if you watched last night's show, you heard my comp about how the Nuggets need to figure out a way to be the Spurs, right? A team that won some championships, then was competitive, but then didn't get back to one for a while, then won some championships, right? That's kind of the trajectory that I think Denver needs to follow with Nikola Jokic. But he brought up the point to me that Manu Ginobili in his prime was good enough to be a starter, but Greg Popovich brought him off the bench because of the juice that he could give that bench unit and having a starter quality player coming off the bench. And I think Christian Braun has been absolutely phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, specifically with the starting five. But do they maybe consider swapping Russ and CB, getting CB back with the bench unit to kind of be that guy, play more minutes, play essentially the same amount of minutes that he's been playing, but just running more with the bench unit? Just kind of throwing that out there. Because while Russ was great tonight, we'll dive into him here in just a moment. Are you expecting 22 points from Russell Westbrook on a consistent basis? Are you expecting a perfect shooting night from beyond the arc on a consistent basis? I think that you can get away with Russ's shortcomings offensively in the starting unit because you have Jamal Murray, because you have Michael Porter Jr., because you have Nikola Jokic, right? Maybe a little bit more than you can on the bench where you kind of just have to have some points. You need some positive momentum on offense. And I know that Malone is doing the staggering thing here with the starters, but just some food for thought. But in general, man, tonight, Russell Westbrook was phenomenal. His best game for the Denver Nuggets, 22 points off of the bench, 5 assists, a steal, 1 rebound, so it is what it is. But most importantly, 10 for 10 from the charity stripe. So we know that Russell Westbrook, he plays a bit violent in the sense of like just very aggressive, a lot of movement in the body. He's going to get to the free throw line a good amount, you would think, moving forward. And so the fact that he was able to find his stroke there at the free throw line, and then in particular from beyond the arc, ultimately is a difference maker in this game. I understand that Jokic was damn near unstoppable in this one, but Russell Westbrook's ability to be a positive off the bench, like a legitimate positive, not just a good spurt, but a good player today. He was still, he was actually a net negative in the plus minus. But the fact that you had some really good production from Russell Westbrook off the bench, I think is ultimately a catalyst in what helped push this team over the top, because we know that the Nuggets bench unit is just an atrocity. I spent some time on Dario Saric. I got into this last night. Peyton Watson, he's got to convert in transition, man. He just looks a little bit lost out there. Like, I don't know if his confidence is shot, plays a little erratic sometimes. Like, if Peyton Watson cannot convert consistently in transition, it's going to be a long year, because like I said, I don't think that you can expect Russell Westbrook to just continuously, put forth the type of performance that he did tonight off of the bench. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong in that department. But just what we've seen with him last year with the Clippers, with the Lakers, with the Rockets, with the Wizards, right? It just kind of hints at the fact that maybe tonight was a little bit more of an outlier with those 22 points off the bench. And then Julian Strawther, he was a -3 tonight. Was all right, though. 7 points, 1 for 3 from beyond the arc, 4 defensive rebounds. Or 4 rebounds in general, and a steal. Need a little bit more out of Julian Strawther moving forward, because that is ultimately, it's the three, I guess, Dario Saric as well. But like, it's like one guy has a decent night, right? Like early on in the first 2 games, it was Julian Strawther, while Russ and everybody else struggled, right? Saric has really yet to have his coming out party for the Denver Nuggets. Watson has yet to have his coming out party for the Nuggets tonight. And Watson played 20 minutes. I mean, that is a lot of time on the court for Peyton Watson to only put up 7 points and grab 2 boards. 1 for 3. He did hit a 3, so you'll take that. He was 3 for 5 from the field, but you just need more. I mean, just point blank. And the one thing that stood out to me tonight about the Brooklyn Nets in particular, and it's kind of a type of player that Denver is lacking, and it's the type of player that I think they want Julian Strawther to be, is like that AAU style shooter. The guys that just have elite confidence to shoot the ball and make the three and take contested shots. Like you think Michael Porter Jr. is going to be that guy, or, he's proven to be that guy tonight. But Dorian Finney-Smith tonight, 17 points. Cam Johnson, 20 points. Dennis Schroeder, 28 points. Cam Thomas, 26 points. And you look at the bench here, Wilson, 11 points. Zaire Williams, 18 points. Nick Claxton, 16 points. So they're just a young, scrappy team, are the Brooklyn Nets, and they've just got guys that are not afraid to shoot the rock and shoot it at a high level. We know that shooting's been a problem all season and will be all season for the Denver Nuggets, but it's that caliber of player, that type of player where they're probably going to make some boneheaded mistakes. They're probably going to turn the ball over, but the one thing that they do is have supreme confidence in their ability to shoot the rock. And I think, like I said, that's what you're hoping Julian Strawther is going to eventually develop into. You're looking for more consistency out of Michael Porter Jr. Christian Brown's a little bit different. Like, I don't think he's ever really been known for his shooting potential. But for CB, what he doesn't have in shooting, he makes up for in defense, energy, and effort. Although he did have a couple of bad fouls there late in the fourth quarter. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think, again, you can't nitpick too much. The bench is certainly still a problem, but the fact that Russell Westbrook was able to, be a real contributor tonight for Denver off the bench with those 22 points, I think is obviously a good thing and hopefully a sign of things to come as Denver tries to figure out their bench woes. But should be a fun one on Friday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So let me know what you guys think. Denver getting the win tonight over the Brooklyn Nets, 144-139. You absolutely love to see it. And, Nikola Jokic, like I said, guys, just cementing himself once again for like the fifth year in a row. I mean, we're going on essentially a half a decade now of Nikola Jokic being far and away, the best player in the NBA, the best player in the world, best player we've seen in a long time. And I say this all the time, the best player the Nuggets ever have in franchise history. So you know what they should do? You guys seen Rounders? You ever seen any of those poker movies? All in. I don't care about the second apron. Sure, it's easy for me to talk in my one-bedroom apartment in Denver, Colorado. I'm not the Cronkies or anything like that. But, like, how do you not go all in? How do you not just kind of say F them picks and be like the Los Angeles Rams? And just, like, what? And, like, I like Julian Strawther. I like Peyton Watson. What? No. Like, let me get on my soapbox here for just a moment. Like, if I understand what they're trying to do in drafting and developing these guys so they could be sustainable. I don't care. The window is now. Like, and history tells us, I mean, he's been fighting Father Time. He's, 29 years old, Nikola Jokic. Eventually, there will be some sort of a decline. And eventually, you will need those Strothers and those Peyton Watsons and all these guys to develop and whatnot. But right now, Nikola Jokic needs every ounce of high-level talent around him, and it's malpractice not to give it to him. It's malpractice. Oh, now I'm fired up, man. Because, again, look at his stats tonight. 29 points, 16 assists, 18 rebounds. It's just like, what are we watching? Yeah, we're going to get Dario Saric and Russell Westbrook and call it a day. Really? That's your plan? After losing in sorry fashion to the Minnesota Timberwolves last season, that's your plan. Hope it works out. Hope I'm wrong. Hope they figure it out. But conversation for another day. Joker the GOAT. All right, final break here. Let's talk about this TV situation before I get out of here, man. Feel bad for all the Nuggets fans that were unable to watch the game tonight or struggled to watch the game. I know some people probably had to find their streams. I was able to find, I don't know if it was like a loophole, but I was eventually able to get the game on my TV. But yeah, good stuff from the Nuggets tonight. I actually don't think I have a formal ad break here. I just got to play like these little transitions. So I'll be back in just a moment. And we'll continue on with the conversation. Drop some comments. Let me know how you're feeling about this TV situation. Come on, man. I don't know how many other shows are talking about this, but I'm for the people, man. I'm one of y'all. It's ridiculous. It's annoying. It needs to end. And we'll talk about it, put some closing thoughts on that, and also the game tonight when we come back right here on Locked On Nuggets. I'll do a quick promo for Mile High Sports as well. Everyone that's probably watching and listening to this podcast, I mean, you guys definitely know Ryan Blackburn now because he's on the Locked On Nuggets podcast as well. But shout out to my boy Ryan Blackburn. Shout out to Swipa. Shout out to Matt Moore. Hope they're all doing well. Those are my guys. But also check us out on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel, man. I run that channel essentially, not all by myself. I've got some help behind the scenes, but we just passed 10,000 subscribers on the MHS channel. Just had a Buffs video that popped off for us. And so if you're watching this show and you like this show and you want some more Denver sports content, Ryan Blackburn's got a ton of good Nuggets content on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. I do the SCO Show, which is a CU-centric program. So if you want some Coach Prime talk in your life, check us out over there. My boy Cody Rourke's doing his Denver Broncos film reviews. Troy Rank of the Denver Post, he does his Broncos podcast on our Mile High Sports YouTube channel. So a lot of great content on the Mile High Sports YouTube. So really appreciate you guys checking that channel out at Mile High Sports. Subscribe, all that good stuff. And while I'm at it, make sure to subscribe to this Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never miss an episode of your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Love doing these instant reaction shows with you guys, the fans. It's always a good time. So subscribe, like, really helps me out a lot. I'm building this channel brick by brick. I'm doing Locked On Nuggets, Buffs, Broncos, and Rockies. So a lot of hosting, a lot of talking. I think that's why my voice is a little shot, a little horsey today. But I love the grind, man. I don't know what else I'd be doing. So really appreciate you guys hanging with me here on the show tonight as the Nuggets get the dub. So we shall see what happens here moving forward for the Denver Nuggets. But like I said, I think I kind of hit all the major points from the game tonight, 144 to 139. Jamal had some awful possessions down the stretch, a couple of bad defensive plays as well from Christian Brown. But again, a win is a win. Joker to GOAT, Aaron Gordon doing some good stuff, Russell Westbrook doing some good stuff off the bench. I think my thing is you want to see more consistency out of Jamal and MPJ. I'm going to be saying that probably after every game this season. Peyton Watson. Hello. P-Watt, where you at, baby? Where you at, man? If Peyton Watson could be a little bit more consistent and Dario Saric just figures it out, I think they can get by with that bench unit for sure. So good win tonight for Denver. We'll end here. I woke up from a nap about 5 o'clock, getting ready to watch the game. And I don't have cable in my apartment, but I have the DirecTV stream. Pull up altitude, 681. Blacked out. Like I'm on DirecTV. I'm not on Comcast. And my first thought was like, well, is it a national TV game? Like, no way they're putting Nuggets and Nets on national TV. And I come to find out that this is one of those games. Remember, Denver, the Nuggets and the Avalanche announced before the year that they're doing a partnership with Tegna, who owns 9 News, to broadcast about 20 of these games over the course of the season on Channel 20. Okay, why does that mean the game's blacked out on altitude, though? Like, it's still an altitude broadcast. Like, why can't they simulcast? And I'm not a TV engineer. I don't understand the logistics and the business of this stuff. But, like, the fact, like, it's just disgusting. It's depressing. The fact that, this is what, year 4 or 5 now of Nuggets and Avalanche fans having to jump through a million hula hoops to watch these games. And I understand that you could have, if you have an antenna, like the year 2024, I'm an old soul. I miss the bunny years. I miss the cranking on the TV, and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that you essentially needed to have an antenna tonight to watch the game is just an absolute travesty. And DirecTV Help actually ended up hitting me back on Twitter. They said, "Hi, Aniello. The Nuggets recently moved 20 games to Tegna's KUSA, NBC, and KTVD MNT in Denver. DirecTV is working with Tegna to possibly add those games for streaming customers there too." So hopefully they figure out a way to get this channel on DirecTV. I know people on Fubo were having a tough time. I ended up, like, how I first got tuned into the game is you can always listen to what's on Altitude Radio online. So I was able to get the radio call. And then for some reason, I was able to sign in with my DirecTV on Altitude's website and get the game. So that's why I ended up watching the game tonight. But yeah, man, I had to say something about it. They launched Altitude Plus. It's like you have to have Altitude Plus, DirecTV, Fubo, or an antenna to watch these games. Like, why is it so difficult? And I'm not just trying to, bark up a storm, but it's like, it just should not be this hard. And I feel bad for the fans, man. And I love the people at Altitude. I think they do a great job. But, Altitude Plus was late for Avalanche season. They seem very reactionary with this type of stuff as opposed to being proactive. And it's like, do you want to put the fans first, like, after all this time? Or do you want to just keep forcing the fans to have to jump through hula hoops? It is what it is. It just sucks. And I'm not trying to blame anyone or get upset at anyone, but it's just like the reality of the situation is us, the fan, the little man, always get the short end of the stick. Always. Always, always, always. They'll find a way, right? That's kind of the sentiment among the TV dynamic is, fans will find a way. They'll live. That's at least the energy that I feel is being cast out there. So it is what it is. If you're able to find the game tonight, congratulations. For anyone that's looking to find the games in the future on these blackouts, you could buy like a $10 antenna that hooks up to your TV and you'll get it on there. Or like I said, hopefully this altitude website thing that I did tonight continues to work throughout the year. But we'll have to see. So good stuff, man. 2 thrillers in less than 24 hours. Who writes these scripts? I don't know, but they're doing a good job. I feel like we've already had every emotion already throughout the course of the season. You've been up here, you've been down there, you've been happy, you've been sad, you've been joyous, you've been confused. And that is Nug Life, baby. That is the Denver Nuggets this season. That's been the Denver Nuggets over the course of their entire franchise's existence. Just a roller coaster of emotions. But tonight, they win 144-139 in overtime. 2 straight overtime wins for Denver. Now, a couple of days off before they'll take on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the final game of this 3-game road trip on Friday night. So, should be a good one. And again, guys, make sure to subscribe to the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel so you guys never miss an episode. And you guys can follow me on social media as well at Media by AP. That is going to do it for me. I'm going to get some rest, and we'll talk to you guys later this week on the next episode of your Locked On Nuggets postcast. But a good win, 144-139. Again, your final score. Standard Locked On Nuggets podcast with Matt Morris, Swipe, and Ryan coming up later this night, I would imagine, or maybe tomorrow morning. So enjoy that. Good win for the Nugs, and we'll talk to you guys after the next game. Have a good night, guys.